Hello my quilting friends. I'm quilting in these green sections today with a design called Flowing Leaves, and you can see it's a combination of feathers and leaf shapes, and it gives such a beautiful texture on our quilts. It is a pretty complex design. There are a lot of steps to it, so I'm going to talk you through it step by step. Right now I'm just doing a little bit of travel stitching because no matter how many times I practice feathers, I cannot seem to be able to get the hang of stitching them backwards, back down from the tip of the feather. And so I always travel stitch back and always form mine from the bottom up. That's just kind of a little weird thing about me, but that might be something that you find as well, that you can only stitch them in one direction or another. And that's a-okay. As you can see, you can still form really pretty feathers. So I'm going to echo this shape a few times. It's a little bit like the snake paisley that we learned before. We're going to echo this a few times so that way it stands out nicely on the quilt, and then we'll form a shape together. So we're going to get started with just a large leaf shape. So I'm curling outward. I'm going to come to a point, and then I'm going to work my way back roughly to my starting point. You might have to do some travel stitching, that's just fine. Now I'm going to fill in with a vine line, a stem. This is pretty similar to the stem design, the little fern design that we did last time. And then now I'm branching off. I'm working my way up that stem and branching out with my feathers. And so I'm traveling back along that shape, branching out, curving around, and then returning. These are pretty small. This is on a pretty small scale. And I can try and make this a little softer simply by making sure that my echoes are nice and big around. So you can kind of go dense within the leaf shape itself and then widen it out as you're echoing around it. That's just fine. So remember what I said about feathers. Travel stitch all the way back to the beginning, and then I branch out on the opposite side, just curling around with that shape. And I'm kind of traveling back and then bouncing out. And that's kind of the movement that I like the best. There's lots and lots of ways of forming feathers, so keep in mind, if that doesn't work for you, there's many other ways that you can form that design. Whoops. My thread's skipping around a little bit. I think it was just a dense area, but it looks okay. Doesn't look like my thread broke. So now I'm working my way around to the outside of this leaf shape, and I'm going to echo around it. And remember what I said, if you want it to end up soft, you might want to bring that echo out and make sure that there's plenty of space between the feather and your next line of quilting, the feather leaf area. So I'm branching out, really expanding those echoes, and that's going to stand out nicely, and it's still going to end up nice and soft. So I'm going to echo around one more time, and then we'll form another shape together. So that was a nice long echo. We can see just how pretty that is on the quilt. Now I'm going to stitch down just a bit, make sure that I have enough space for this leaf shape. Branch out and around, and then I'm going to return all the way back to that point back there. Okay, now I'm going to fill it in again. We've got a stem. This is just a narrow wiggly line, and then branch out with my feathers. And as you can see, these could get pretty tiny, but they give you a lot of repetition, a lot of bang for your buck. And that's really important. The more you do something, the more you stitch something in free motion, the better you're going to get at it. So the more you can put on your quilt, the better. But there are those designs that no matter how many times you stitch them, they're just not going to feel natural for you. And for me, stitching feathers in that direction from the top down is that exact thing. So I always travel stitch back and branch out with feathers, working from the bottom up. And that just works out really, really well. And it ends up having that nice, subtle bent, you know, those kind of flowy feather shapes. And then I travel stitch along the opposite side, and that way my vine line looks up really nice and balanced. So now I'll travel stitch up, kind of get to this little spot, and that's where I'm going to start my echo. Branch out and around, just echoing around that leaf shape. And I'll swing around with another echo, And that's how this design is going to flow. I'm just going to work a few more of these flowing feather leaves into this space, surrounding them with echoes. I think it's going to fill this green area really beautifully. So that's it for this video. If you'd like to join in the fun, click right here to download this free quilt pattern at leahday.com. We're going to be sharing new machine quilting videos on this project every day this week. So make sure to tune in and check out all of the videos. Make sure to like them and share them with your friends. And you'll definitely learn more about piecing, walking foot quilting, and free motion quilting with this fun project. So check it out at leahday.com/rainbow. And until next time, let's go quilt.